Back in studio, at least for now. Frangie, Hayes Carline, and JJ LaSelva with you. How you doing over there? You good?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. I football felt back even for just a day, didn't it?
Absolutely. Football is back.
Well, that's right.
Football never goes away.
Good point. But it felt. But I mean, the whole.
It does, yeah.
Because the whole team was there.
That's the thing.
It felt like a real practice.
And they're just like, as you cover the league and cover a team for like a lot of years, you just realize like there's certain steps that you just have to go through. Like you have to go through the first day of OTAs so that you can get to the next week of OTAs, so that you can get to mandatory minicamp, so that you can get to training camp, so that you can get to the preseason games, so that you can get to the regular season. So it's just it's like nothing earth-shattering happened yesterday, but it's a key step in getting us to where we want to be.
Correct.
Which is the Jaguars playing real football games.
And it felt like a real practice. All the players, I mean, a couple guys weren't there, but I mean, mostly the team was there. The veterans were there. It felt like a real football practice, even though it is just May. And I don't wish my life away. I will enjoy the summer, but it felt like a real football practice. So,
and they look good.
Yeah, they do look good. You're playing catch with each other.
It's
right.
It's the skill guys. You can't really learn anything from the linemen.
But what you just said, the rhythm of the passing and catching seemed further along than May. We've seen other May OTAs that didn't look like that. I think that's I thought the same thing. I thought it doesn't mean anything. I asked Tony. I said, Tony, what do you know about your team? And he says nothing. And he's right. You really don't know anything, but it did sort of have that feel to it. So good to have. I'm glad they had us out there, and we'll do it a few more times. One time next week, and then of course the mandatory minicamp the week after that. So we're certainly looking forward to that. All kind of stuff to get to today on the program. JJ, now, since yesterday I had the Oklahoma City Thunder down 2-1, and we now know that they were down 2-2. Now they're up 3-2. What do you make of the series? Any surprises yet for you?
I'm sort of upset that I didn't expect every game to be like game one, because that's impossible. But all the other games have been not fun.
Dull at the end.
Yes,
dull at the end.
No drama at the end in any of these games. I expect San Antonio to win in San Antonio in Game 6 and to force a Game 7, but it's going to be tough, man, like for them to go back to OKC and be able to win a game, because they've been shutting Wemby down at the basket, the little moves that he makes, like to get easy baskets. They've just been completely boxing him in on defense, and it's going to be tough.
Hayes, I think my 6-game theory probably won't hold in this one, because I always say whoever wins Game 6 is going to win the series. But I kind of agree with JJ. I think San Antonio might win Game 6, but not the series. It feels kind of, I know that's chalk, but it kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
I'll give Oklahoma City a ton of credit, because
a lot of hurt guys.
After Game 1, to JJ's point, they've done a much better job on Wemby. And, I mean, they're doing this arguably without their second-best player. In Jalen Williams. Right. So, I mean, the fact that, it looks like Oklahoma City is going to survive. I actually think they're going to win in San Antonio and close it out in 6. But
it will be Game 6, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, considering the attrition that they've taken on, they look great. And SGA didn't get off to a great start last night, but it didn't matter. The guys kept them in it. And it does seem like Castle's decent, but it doesn't seem like San Antonio really has that second guy.
It's too soon. They're still so young, and their second guy, quote unquote, is probably De'Aaron Fox, who's been obviously hurt.
Right.
He's so clearly hurt. But yeah, you're right. They don't have that too. The second best player for the OKC has probably been Caruso.
Yeah, he's been really
timely.
Good. And he was really good again last night. He had 22 points, but his presence, isn't it?
Yeah, when he hits his shots, it's
when he's
perfect timing every time.
When he's on the floor, I agree with you. I think he's been probably, Holmgren does a lot of things, but I think Caruso's probably been their second most important player. I think you're right about that. So we'll certainly talk some of that going on. I got a fun show for you today, okay? So first of all, a huge bill in college football. Brett's going to be here, Sports and Courts, in just a minute. Finally, the government, there is a bipartisan bill that's going to be introduced that could save college athletics. That could make it real. You follow this story, no doubt, because it's been a gigantic story. Brett will explain it better than I can, but it's a bipartisan bill that, if passed, does all the normal stuff you would hope. It all of a sudden there's one-time transfer. All of a sudden there's 5 years eligibility max. There's a salary cap on what you can spend. And you'll have enough antitrust exemption, at least some, Hayes, to where you can put together a big TV deal and you can put rules in place that aren't challengeable in court. So I will tell you, I hate to say save college athletics, but I won't say saved, but certainly get some law and order back in place. You read all the stories, right?
I think it absolutely is saving it. I don't think that that's too strong at all. You've got Georgia's president, Moorhead, who his direct quote at SEC meetings, direct quote, "We're close to anarchy. Time is running out on us. We're in a worse position now than we were a year ago." Like, this is the University of Georgia's president basically saying anarchy has arrived. And yeah, if this can certainly help fix it, but they're in dire straits. It's just not sustainable to have your fans supporting $80 million football and basketball budgets combined. It just isn't sustainable. So hopefully this can get the job done. No one's saying that, the athletes shouldn't be paid. They should absolutely be paid, but there's got to be a system in place that does create sustainability for the next generation of collegiate athlete.
And we're going to talk about that. Again, Brett will be here and cover that. We'll start that in just a few minutes. I'm going to throw out an alternative where this could land. I'm not going to tell you what it is, though, but I'm going to throw out an alternative later on where this could land after we do our Sports and Court segment. So that comes up a little bit later on in the program as well. We'll certainly talk college baseball. We just touched on it yesterday, but the regions are set and the potential super regions are set. We'll certainly talk about that. That comes up in the program a little bit later on today as well. There's some possible trades out there. Listen, and Denny Thompson, if you're listening, don't get mad at me. But there's talk about a trade for Anthony Richardson, among others. And Anthony's a wonderful kid. Who's trading for Anthony Richardson?
Well, it's all like, are you talking about the ESPN thing?
No, I'm talking. Well, yeah, but I'm talking that they just made a bunch of supposition. I'm talking about the possibility of trading Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I mean, if it's
the big picture,
the Toronto,
if it's for a if it's for a 6th, 7th round pick, I could see a team
take a shot at
taking a shot. I mean, the guy went 4th overall. I mean, I don't think he can play at all.
Yeah,
but for a 6th, 7th round pick,
And if he goes somewhere other than the AFC and certainly other than the AFC South, I hope he can play. I want to be wrong about this, but I've rooted for Anthony Richardson ever since I was screaming about why are they playing Emory Jones ahead of him. I was an Anthony Richardson fan before he had ever played very much, right? But I don't know, man. I maybe a 7th rounder, we'll see, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be for any sort of massive compensation at all.
So we got a lot of things to get to today on the program. But a big story in college athletics. Oh, and by the way, more Jaguar talk coming up at the bottom of the hour. Hayes and I will go back to what we really saw. I'm going to go a little deeper into what I thought yesterday, what we saw from the Jags. Jacoby Myers, one of the most important Jaguars that never gets mentioned is one of the most important Jaguars, is the subject of a Hayes Carline one-on-one. So all that comes up at the bottom of the hour after Sports and Courts. But we'll kick off the program with Sports and Courts. A brand new bill, a bipartisan bill being introduced that could become federal law, and if it does, change and possibly save college athletics. That's Sports and Courts. It's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If it's just a game,
it was all that Dan Marino's fault. Everyone knows that.
Why can't we get over it?
If he had held the ball laces out like he's supposed to, Ray would never have missed that kick.
1010XL.
I don't want to talk about it.
Money pages in your mailbox right now.
Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go.
Money Pages in your mailbox right now.
Prosser here. Get those boats ready for the Dailies Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin, Saturday, June 13th in St. Augustine. The entry fee, only $250 if you register by May 31st at oldschoolkingfish.com. The grand prize, a 21-foot Yellowfin hybrid boat worth $130,000 and with limited boundaries, no live bait buying, and no checkout. It's seriously old school. That's why it's called the Old School Kingfish Tournament. Sign up today, oldschoolkingfish.com.
This is Hayes Carlyon for Harrell & Harrell. You know, I don't just talk about Harrell & Harrell. My family has trusted them. Holt and I actually go way back. We went to school together. Over the years, I've recommended Harrell & Harrell to my own friends and family because I've seen firsthand how they treat their clients. It's what they call the Harrell Promise. You'll be treated like family, and they'll always work to make sure you take home more than they do. If you've been injured, call Harrell & Harrell at 251-1111.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, Hicken here, and oh man, TopDressing.com came and hit my lawn with that deep aeration. I got to see their truck. Woo, is that cool? It's like a transformer. Aerators rolling right off it. They punched the yard. They dropped their proprietary mix and cleaned up like they were never there. Next step, rich, green St. Augustine grass. If your lawn needs a real turnaround, call TopDressing.com today for your free estimate. They'll make your grass look like a golf course for real. Call today and top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Hey, it's Greg. So I'm 3 weeks into Awaken 180 now, and I'm already down over 18 pounds. 18 pounds in 3 weeks. It's funny, I kept waiting for the part where this felt like one of those sad desk salads. You know, 3 leaves, a tomato, and regret. But it hasn't. I'm eating its food I actually like, and now my sons are coming over and saying, hey, let me try that. And that's been a surprise. I thought Awaken 180 was kind of going to feel a little bit like punishment, but it doesn't one bit. I've got my coach Mandy helping me stay locked in, making adjustments, and keeping me from doing what I always did before. No pills, no injections, no fluff, just a simple plan I can actually follow and stick with. I kept saying, I'll do it next month, then next month. But then 3 weeks ago, I finally shut up and got started. Hacker, Matt, Mike, Amber, they all told me Awaken 180 works, and honestly, it's been even better than they said. So what are you waiting for? Do what I did. Call 844-346-1800 or go to awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Now time for Sports and Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
Brett Hastings is here. How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Doing great.
All good? Big story in sports. Big story in college sports. Forever, or at least for the longest time, the college administrators have asked the federal government to get involved for fear that if not, it was going to be the wild, wild west on steroids, which it has become. There now is a bipartisan bill expected to be introduced. The SCORE Act got shot down. It kept getting pulled back. They never even introduced it. But now there's a bipartisan bill that's on every website. Every college writer has it. Hey, Brett, that essentially suggests we might get some order to this thing. Take us through it, what the chances are of it passing, and what the whole thing means.
I can give you a legal analysis.
Okay.
Political analysis in this country is tough, but I think this thing is pared down.
Legal.
I think this is pared down to a lot of the things that we want to see be instituted in college athletics. I think that the average person, right, has seen the chaos in college athletics, and you know, kind of like grumpy guy Frangie, want to see less lawsuits and want to just, you know, want for these young people and the schools and everybody else to have something that they can rely on. So that's good. So, yeah, Ted Cruz and Maria Cantwell, you know, so Republican, Democrat have come forward with this. As I understand it, there is pretty broad support. Sort of the first and maybe the most important thing is that this will create national NIL rules, because remember, we have a lot of state laws that are conflicting. federal law preempts state law in general. And if you could create this, would be able to say, okay, this is the way it is across the country. The second thing, and it's still, I want to dig into this a little bit more, but it's going to give the NCAA limited antitrust protection for the things listed out in this bill. What does that mean? Most likely it would help to protect the NCAA from a lot of these lawsuits that they have been losing pretty much on antitrust.
That's
grounds.
the bottom line.
Right. So, that's there to do it. Transfer portal limits, this is, something I think everybody would want to see, right? And I think would be one of the things that would be able to survive any and all, legal attacks. So, the way these bills go, sometimes you start out, it's big, it changes, it goes between the Senate, it goes between the House. And so, it's something that we're going to have to continue to look at, but this is a starting point. I like at least most of it, that I see as a starting point. Then, if you read all the articles on the internet, you hear people say, hey, there's a salary cap. There is a cap for the revenue that is paid by the universities. Nowhere that I saw in there does it say salary cap,
right.
Okay? They're not going to do that, right? They still do not define any of these athletes as employees.
Which means they can't have a salary.
Right. So it's not a salary cap, anybody that says it. What it is a percentage-based cap. It appears this year it would be $20.5 million. That would be the total amount that any institution could pay those players, okay? Outside of that, they are going to give more support to the College Sports Commission, the group that reviews the other NIL deals, and that those essentially are going to be vetted to show that they are for, truly fair market value. So when a no-name offensive guard gets $3 million because Florida wants to outbid Georgia and nobody knows who he is, that's pay for play, okay? If it were Tim Tebow at the height of his career and Gatorade wanted to run, Tim Tebow ads in a Gator jersey or, whatever it was, that'd be something you'd say, hey, that seems like a pretty good deal, right? And so that's kind of that litmus test that's out there that they would do. Our buddy Lane Kiffin appears to have made his way into it and to create a Lane Kiffin rule that, creates restrictions for coaches moving in around those times and trying to address the deadlines that we had. And so, that's another thing that I think is, could be clear, right? You're not saying you can't work, you can't do stuff. It's just saying you got to come through this time. I think that's good for the game. So I think all of those things are, as a general rule, good. The bad, right? There's still, the athletes are not at the bargaining table, okay? They're not having anything to do with any of that. But how can you do that at this point, right? You're not going to call it a salary. You're not going to treat them as employees, so you can't have collective bargaining. So does this protect the NCAA? It does. Does it help to save college sports? It does. But I think there's a little bit of that, are we saving college sports or are we protecting the cartel?
If the NCAA does get the antitrust exemption from the government, could they then make the rules even more restrictive than what are in this? Like, as soon as they get the antitrust exemption, they pretty much can do whatever they want, correct? Or how does that work in terms of challenging from the other side?
Relatively, limited, on some of these issues. But honestly, I really kind of, I hadn't. It was so big, it was shutting down the printer. Okay, when I was going through it, and I was going through to review it, so I literally brought in here the section by section summary that anybody could see out there, and that bad boy is 6 pages, taking every section and bringing it down, to 2. So we want to do a little bit of more analysis. It will be a limited antitrust exemption, essentially for that revenue cap and the other stuff.
Grouping TV together.
Correct.
Media deals together.
Correct.
You can now do that together without violating any monopoly codes. That's essentially a big
part. But all bets are going to be off if players are ultimately defined to be employees, and that day is coming.
2 or 3 things I saw in it, I want you to evaluate these. Number one, one-time transfer without a penalty. I think that's huge. I think with The biggest problem, I've said it, Greg Sankey said it to me, others have said it to others, the biggest problem in college athletics to me is players playing for 3 and 4 schools. That to me is the biggie. So one-time transfer without penalty. Well, no one's going to sit out of your hay. So if it goes through, you're going to transfer one time. 5-year eligibility max. I like that. Okay. Here's the one that might have gotten under the radar. No former pro athletes can play college athletics. So does that mean Urban Klavjar couldn't play? Right. It's not. Does it mean the European guys that played professionally too? I don't know that answer.
My understanding is it's more the Bediacos, the guys that go into the NBA
those guys for sure can.
I didn't get a chance to look at that.
Yeah.
We'll look at it,
Yeah.
and do an update, when we come out to define it. But it's a really good point.
That's what
my understanding is what Hayes was saying, but
I mean,
pro athlete is pro athlete, and if you look,
that's the question. I mean, Nate Oates' argument, dumb argument perhaps, but his argument was, why is Bediaco not available? Can't play, but the Irvin Klavjars, who are all over college basketball, can. Well, the answer is they didn't sign, they didn't give up their eligibility and go into the NBA and get drafted, go to a two-way. We all know the answer, but I wonder if legally, if they say no pro athletes, I wonder if they are no longer going to allow European professional basketball players to come play college basketball. I don't know that answer, but that one kind of slipped in there. It'll be interesting to see where that goes, right?
And it'll be interesting to see how much they try to do this definition, and kind of what Hayes was saying before. I was in here and it was heart-wrenching because I can't stand it, but I came in to break down the snapper injunction, that was the other day.
Right.
But in that instance, what they do is they create authority.
Yeah.
Right. They create authority for certain groups, and then there are a bunch of rules that are under it. So, at this point, they're creating authority. They have had a lot of specificity in what I'd seen in the bill, so they are addressing these things. But a lot of that is going to be things that they may turn over, right?
Yeah.
Like to make eligibility decisions and requests and to interpret it, right? Because what we want to not have is what? We don't want to have judges interpreting it. That's the whole point of this. So what I'm just saying is, to answer your question, you're not going to write a bill that's going to contemplate every single one of these things.
Right.
You're going to have to decide, like the College Sports Commission, do they also make these eligibility determinants? And to that, what is a pro?
One other thing I didn't get to was the Lane Kiffin rule.
Right.
You can't poach a coach during the season. Well, what does that mean? You can't talk to him. You're not allowed to interview him. You can interview him, you just can't hire him. And we don't necessarily know that, but that's an interesting.
That to me seems like a clause that one of the politicians put in that has no chance of making it to the final product.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Yeah. I think and you got to remember, there are a lot of things that go into bills just because they're popular, right?
Well, that's the ultimate.
Right. This might get you enough votes to win in the upcoming midterm in Mississippi. Right. I mean, that would be a core issue there. So.
Yeah. You made a good point earlier. You're here as a legal analyst, not as a political analyst. Fair point. But we don't have a political analyst in here, so you're the closest to it. Do you think this will pass? Do you think it will be challenged legally if it does?
It will always be challenged legally, just because of the employee portion of that. But it won't be anything. It won't be if this passes, right? I think something will pass. I think we're going to probably have about 2 more sports in courts where we see some of this wind through, because you guys have both brought up some good questions that, as I was sitting here going, yeah. So that's what happens with bills too, right? Like you kind of go in and you say, hey, this is the spirit of the law. And then you really got to drill it down. And as somebody that has to read these things all the time, I watch them change over time too, right? Like they're amended every other year or at these points. I think it's a starting point. I think one of the most important things to get bills through is a perceived popularity, right? And I do think most people want to see less chaos in professional sports. So I think, the transfer limits and some of these things, I think we're going to be able to make their way, into place. And I know right now, that what's really driving it politically is this desire to have some financial certainty and for there to be some legs to the College Sports Commission. So I think that's going to be the thing that the conferences and the former coaches and the people that we are seeing who are the quote lobbyists all really want to see happen. So I think that is going to find its way into law.
I will say this. This is an opinion, not a question, and you guys will probably disagree with me on this. I would be okay if the rule did not allow professional athletes from other countries to come play here. I'd be okay if the Urban class, and I love Urban, but I'd be okay if Illinois' entire team wasn't former European pros. I would be okay if we, and by the way, I have no problem with European players or Australian players playing in America, but when they play at a very high level, collegiate or professionally in Spain, and then come and play at our colleges, I wish we didn't. I wish we didn't allow that. I wish, that's my opinion. Right. I wish we didn't have that. Again, I don't mind. I mean, Alex Condon, did he play college basketball? Did he play professional basketball? I think
probably, because that's sort of like internationally. Yeah, it's like as soon as that's their next thing.
But
so,
but I would be okay if we didn't have that. But I'd be okay if we didn't have that. I'm not opposed to international players, but international players that play at a very high professional level coming in playing against our college guys. I wish we didn't have that.
Well, there's your first lawsuit.
Yeah.
Because I'll pro bono for Alex Condon and Urban Clapsar to get him to next May, right? Just give me a trial in May and I'll dismiss and we're all good.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not in a hurry for this to go through. Okay. Give me a year on it. Some of there. But hey, listen, all the teams are doing it because it's within the rules and it helps you be better. I'm not faulting any of the teams that are doing it because the rules say do it. I'm just saying it wouldn't bother me if it didn't. That's kind of where I'm at.
Well, and you always just want certainty, right? You want to be able to know. And at that point, you serve notice to people overseas. If their dreams to come to America, they think by playing in college basketball, I'm going to end up getting my way to the NBA. Let them know that, because now they, can come here and make that money, right? And come through the path. And so right now, what's just not fair is there really is like not much certainty for any of them, right? Like also for the players, as much as there's uncertainty for these, athletic associations.
I'm surprised part of the legal argument hasn't focused on something Kirby Smart brought up, and we've heard others talk about it. Like, if this system continues, you're going to lose the smaller sports in college athletics. So I think if you polled Americans across the board, there would be a very high approval rate for colleges being able to field volleyball teams and golf teams and swim teams and track teams. And all of that is on its way to being over. We saw Arkansas get rid of a tennis team, I think, and then they brought it back like a week later. But certainly we're talking rich schools are facing the decision of cutting out sports programs. And to me, that I think is a massive selling point to getting people behind this. It's like, look, you may not pay attention to college football or college basketball, but don't you like the idea of our great universities around this country fielding sports programs that give kids a chance to go and get a degree because of their athletic ability playing tennis or golf or swimming or track or whatever it is?
I completely agree. But I will tell you, if there's one primary difference sort of between this and some of the components of the SCORE Act, and if you remember the opinion that Trump issued, that was a big part of what he put in his opinion, that they put out, was to save, as they had coined them, the Olympic sports. And it was that idea that a lot of the Olympic athletes come through the collegiate systems, right? The track and field, any of those types of things to get to it. So I agree with you, and that's where, trying to have some control over the finances of it as it relates. But, the administrations have to decide that too. If you look at Florida and really Florida State, they have relatively balanced programs. It's some of these other places in the country, they're like, we just want to win at that. And they're not that worried, about, anything else. So, and that's another concern on being defined as employees.
It'll be interesting to see where this goes. Really interesting topic. We'll keep. I think you're right. We'll do more sports and courts on this one because I think the story has just begun. No question about it. Brett,
I'm not throwing the notes away.
Great work as always, Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. When we come back, you're going to hear from Jacoby Myers, a terrific Jaguar receiver. We'll talk some Jaguars football after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
You've always known Beard's Diamonds for, well, our diamonds. But have you heard about our watches? Beard's is proud to introduce a new and exciting selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. If you've tried to find a Rolex these days, you know how hard it is. But Beard's has scoured the country to put together an incredible selection of pristine Rolexes, thoroughly inspected and fully authenticated. These are like new Rolexes, all the most popular models, GMT Masters, Submariners, Sky Dwellers, and more. Come in today and check out our new collection of amazing timepieces. And if you have a Rolex to sell or trade, Beard's buyers are here with top dollar offers. Beard's Diamonds, always looking for new ways to give our customers the finest quality and the guaranteed best value price. Locally owned and operated for more than 4 decades, Beard's is your trusted source for fine diamonds, exquisite designer jewelry, stunning engagement rings, and now the finest luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Come find the Rolex of your dreams now. Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It's a week-long flash sale right now from Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet cleaning for $125 and $599 air duct cleaning per unit. Book now before the offer disappears. Call 287-5727. Flash sale now through the end of the week. 3 rooms of carpet cleaning for $125 and air duct cleaning for $599 per unit. Call 287-5727. 287-5727. Zero Res. Spelled backward or forward, it's the right way to clean.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
We sure appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons. They really are the best in the business. You call them at 904-356-4821. Coyle Jacks, C-O-Y-L-E, jacks.com. The word is out. If you need fencing, you want the best. You want Coyle & Sons. It is time now for the big thing of the day. The big thing of the day is brought to you by Big Chief Tire. For all your tire and automotive needs, it's Big Chief Tire. 6 locations in town. Big Chief Tire online is WeKeepJacksRolling.com. Well, the big thing, still the thing is we've talked about for the last 2 days. The Jaguars are back on the field, and it's fun to watch their team play, Hayes. I want to hear from Jacoby Myers in a minute, but here's what's interesting. I asked Liam about this. they drafted 2 tight ends. Both are going to be on the team. Both are Koziel's to be more the pass catcher. Borkacher's the more complete. They're going to play with Brenton Strange, blah, blah, blah. 12 personnel, which is one running back, 2 tight ends. Oh, by the way, they've got some pretty good receivers, too. He was quick to say that the other day. Watching those 3 receivers yesterday, I know it was May and nobody's hitting anybody and it's indoors, but that looked like something special, like it did last year.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it was just good seeing, like, Brian Thomas Jr. catch the passes that were thrown to him and look like he was more comfortable than what we have seen.
Agreed.
And, but certainly Parker Washington doesn't look like that was a fluke. He looks every bit as good as he did when the season ended. And Jakobi Meyers, I still don't know how he showed up here. Didn't know anything. How could he? And was able to catch 42 passes for 483 yards and 3 touchdowns, arriving at the trade deadline. So they've got there's not a Randy Moss, there's not a Jettas, there's not a Megatron in the group. BTJ's the only one that has a sliver of that potential. But for not having a unbelievable player at receiver, they're about as balanced as you could be. I mean, from the opposing defensive coordinator standpoint, what do you focus on? I mean, because I guess it's BTJ's speed is what we've seen, but then Washington and Myers just carve you up.
Right. And catch everything. And Trevor throws that ball so well, that crossing route, so you're exactly right. Jakobi Meyers, as Hayes said, a gigantic addition a year ago, kind of completed that offense. And boy, it took off after number 3 got here. He's the subject of this Hayes Carline one-on-one.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
Pleased to be joined with Jaguars receiver Jakobi Meyers here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
Same. I've been great, man. I've been great. Out here with the guys getting better every day. It's been nice, man. Yes, sir.
How nice is it to have more of a ease in as opposed to arriving last year at the trade deadline?
Nah, it's great because now I understand the why. You know what I mean? When I first got here last year, it was just, we need you to do this, and you can't ask questions right now. But now it's like I can get the full picture and really understand what's going on.
When you look back at those couple of months after you arrived here, were you at all surprised by the production that you were immediately able to have and how much you were able to help this team with the tremendous winning streak?
I wouldn't say I was surprised, but I was grateful, you know what I mean? I was grateful that they gave me the opportunity to kind of jump in. I feel like most teams kind of want to see what you can do first. So for them to give me the opportunity, it felt good, and I appreciate them, truly.
Jakobi, as you went back and looked at last year, were there certain things that you kind of emphasized in terms of trying to get better this year in the system?
Just getting healthier for sure. That's a big one for me. Understanding the playbook, because there's a lot of times out there, honestly, I was just lost, in the middle of the ocean, and guys are really helping me out. So I think those 2 things, always conditioning, always the fundamentals of football, but definitely those 2 things that helped me a lot. How
cool is it to know that you're a part of this, signed an extension right before Christmas, and know that this is your home for the next few years here?
That's a big thing for me, honestly, because I haven't had anybody that really just made me feel like they want me to be there for the long haul. So I'm excited about this opportunity. It's some great guys on the locker room, great guys to be on the field with. It's really just a blessing to be here, honestly. I'm happy.
Yeah. What are some things that you work on this time of year, no contact, and what sort of individual stuff do you try and get better at?
I would say for receivers, it's conditioning and breaks. You kind of, as you go through a season, everything kind of breaks down, and you kind of forget the fundamentals, and you just worry about doing your job. So I like to take this time to just focus on the fundamentals, slowing it down for myself, and just getting in shape the best that I can without pads.
You and Trevor had an immediate connection that was evident by your production, but what's it like now being able to take a breath and really have deeper conversations with Trevor without getting ready for an opponent?
That's probably the most important thing, just understanding him as a quarterback and as a person. So it'll help me do my job, and I think it'll help the team just be better the more that we understand what he needs, because that's ultimately the hardest position. So we're just trying to make it easy for him.
What are you seeing out of Parker Washington and BTJ?
They're gonna be great. Yeah. It's that simple. They're gonna be guys that can play for as long as they want to, as long as their routine allow them to. Talented individuals. They're gonna be great. They're going to be great for sure.
In terms of Nate, Borkercher, Koziel, the guys that you guys added, particularly the tight end spot, how much of a luxury can that be for this offense, keeping defenses off balance if Liam elects to go a little heavier at times?
Yeah, I mean, it's a personnel mismatch game, honestly. That's ultimately come down to where can you create a mismatch, and guys like that will help us do that. So I'm excited that he's here. Hopefully everything can keep moving in the right direction.
Jacoby Myers, thanks so much for your time. Great seeing you. Best of luck.
Likewise, appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate Jacoby. It's really been fun getting a chance to talk with him since he arrived. Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence both had really interesting comments about Jacoby. Let's start with Liam. You know, we sort of just figured, well, obviously for Jacoby Myers just to be able to show up and be this productive, imagine the levels they can hit now that they can take a breath and go through an off season together. But it was interesting hearing from Liam because he said that there's still a lot of stuff that Jacoby's got to master.
It's something we probably took for granted a little bit because of how quick he came in and was seamlessly involved in the offense and alignment and motions and doing all the right things. I think we probably took for granted some of the core fundamentals and principles of the offense to go back and teach him. And he's like, oh, well, that's what that word came from. Whereas he maybe didn't get any of that when he first came in. So I think that's something that has been nice to be able to work through, is to start from the bottom and start from the beginning of, you know, just why we call formations what we call them. Why do we call this concept, gator, or whatever it is? Why do we call it these things? Getting some of the background and understanding so he can get that big picture view and not so much just, man, I got to know what I got to know. So, yeah, that's been nice to have.
It really highlights how amazing it is on Jacoby and the coach's part that they were able to get him to be, and for him, be that productive immediately, just showing up and literally playing 3 days later.
They could tell the fit probably before they ever got him. They probably did enough homework that he's a real quick learner, a real hard studier, and that his style of receiving those crossing routes fit the quarterback pretty well. So they had a pretty good idea before he ever got to town.
And certainly Myers and Lawrence had unbelievable connectivity immediately. This was Trevor Lawrence, though, talking about now how nice it is having a little bit more time to build on that relationship with Jacoby Myers and not having to get ready for an opponent.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, time is something that's important, I think, for building chemistry within your team, but especially like quarterback receiver. I mean, I've talked about it a little bit in the past. It was surprising how quick we clicked in the season, but to have the time now to really go into the details and take our time and get routes after practice. And obviously we were doing that before, but it's in the season, so it's moving fast. But to have that time, I mean, you can tell it's just going to make us better and better. And the whole playbook, when he first got here, it's trying to just give him this little, I guess, sound bites and tips so we can learn it the fastest. Now he actually gets a true installation of the offense and can learn it and take his time, and it's not rushed. Like at first, I was impressed by how he's even able to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to only see that strengthen is the more that they're together. But it's interesting how like Trevor and BTJ didn't click right away. They're clearly working on that, and it looked good yesterday. And then it's amazing how some quarterbacks can have a guy show up, and it looks like they've been playing together for years.
Yeah, no question. And I think part of that is the style of play of Jacoby Myers and the routes he runs. But here's the bottom line. The combination, Hayes, of Trevor Lawrence evolving into what he did, which is an NFL MVP finalist, with those three receivers if they're healthy, Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers, and Parker Washington, who might be one of the best players on the team by the time this thing's over, and Brenton Strange. Boys, the possibilities are endless. They really are. Nice work as always. Thanks. We'll take a break. Hayes has headlines after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Fridays on 1010XL are evolving.
Introducing The Lead with Hayes Carline and Ryan O'Halloran.
4 to 6 Friday afternoons on 1010XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Frank Frangie here from my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers, they take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia. AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care.
PGA Tour star Ricky Fowler.
If you want to be the best, you have to practice with the best. That's why I had Southwest Greens install and maintain my putting green, and my synthetic lawn, and my chipping area, and my practice bunker area, and my bocce ball court, and our pole vaulting area.
Southwest Greens is the world's premier manufacturer and installer of putting greens, synthetic grass, chipping areas, practice bunkers, and just about anything else you want to do in your yard.
It's Southwest Greens.
Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. They will take great care of you. Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank, let's start with the Jaguars. And again, our thoughts from OTAs yesterday. The receivers, we've talked about Jacoby Myers. We've talked a little bit about Parker Washington. I thought Brian Thomas Jr. looked pretty comfortable out there, considering last year OTA's training camp, it was sort of, and even into the regular season, it was sort of tough for him at times. Caught the ball well and seemed to be pretty crisp out there yesterday.
I agreed. I think the Brian Thomas Jr., what happened to Brian Thomas Jr.'s story will be a non-story this year. That doesn't mean he's on his way to being a Pro Bowler. We'll see. But I think all that is behind them now. I think the expectations are different now. I think he knows the staff knows him. He fits in comfortably with the other two receivers. He's not expected to be a Hall of Famer now, just be one of the good players. He's still the field stretcher, I think. I think the what's wrong with Brian Thomas Jr. won't be a story this year.
And if that's the case, the Jaguars could be scary good. BTJ still just 23 years old. And
Correct.
if you had said the night that they drafted him that he's going to, for his first 2 years, going to average 994 yards and 6 touchdowns,
right,
you probably would have been pretty happy with that level of production. But obviously had the massive rookie year and a disappointing second year. But his 2 years combined, pretty good numbers for a guy going into year 3. Trevor Lawrence talked yesterday with reporters about getting some extra time working with BTJ this offseason.
Yeah, it's been great. We've put a lot of work in throughout all spring, really, of just trying to get the timing down, the chemistry, all those things, get on the same page, and I think it's starting to pay off. And it doesn't always happen immediately. Like, sometimes it takes a little time, but he's super committed to it, and so am I. And I think us getting those extra reps is paying off. And we got a lot more time. I mean, we got, 4 more weeks or 5 more weeks of OTAs type practices, and then we also have the break in the summer until training camp. So many reps that we can get from now until then to get us ready for the season. But I mean, I have no doubt we're going to be ready to go. He's going to have a great year. I mean, he's a special player, and just excited that I feel like we're clicking more and more every day.
Yeah, I think he's right. It's one day with nobody hitting and indoors and in air conditioning and all that, but for one day it did feel like that.
Let's get to around the NFL. Patrick Mahomes back on the field for OTAs as the Chiefs conduct their offseason program. The 30-year-old Mahomes was wearing a brace on his left knee. Reporters were not out there. The Chiefs just shared it on their social. The 3-time Super Bowl champ had knee surgery on December 15th, but certainly a good sign for Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
Yeah, I got a hunch he's going to be fine. I got a hunch Daniel Jones, who tore his Achilles, is going to be fine. He was throwing it at the OTAs as well, so that's good news for the league that the important players, and none more important than Patrick Mahomes, look like they're ahead of schedule.
Former Florida State star Derwin James gets a 3-year, $75.6 million extension from the Chargers to once again make him the league's highest paid safety. What a career he's had for the Chargers.
He's a great safety. I mean, when it's over, Hayes, you'll mention him with Ronnie Lott and Troy Polamalu and the great safeties. I'm not saying he'll be better or as good as those guys, but there's a handful of 4 or 5 great safeties who have played the game, and he'll be in that conversation. He's a really, really good player.
Let's get it to college football. We've got Gators kickoff times for the first 3 games. Florida Atlantic will be a 7:45 start in the Swamp. That is the season opener.
Eastern time?
That is Eastern.
Okay, good.
Correct. I tend to work in Eastern time. Campbell is at 5:30 Eastern. That'll be a big game.
That's an odd start time.
I think that's just where can we squeeze this in to get it over with. And then Florida goes to Auburn in week 3. That will be a night game, a 7 o'clock start on the Plains.
Oh, that'll be that one's big. That one's big. I love the early start times, or the early release of the start times. That will be a big game.
Huge game.
I mean, Florida Auburn will be a game of significance. 2 new coaches, 2 new starting quarterbacks, regardless of who wins the job in Gainesville. 2 teams that had, Florida became from 90 on can you be a blue blood if it starts in 90? Well, whatever that is, they become that. They're one of the great programs in America starting in 90, but they've been in a funk for 15 years. Auburn's had great moments, up and down moments. This is 2 programs trying to refine themselves with these new coaches. By the way, the Florida coach, John Sumrall, was almost the Auburn coach. He was an eyelash from being the Auburn coach. Golesh is the Auburn coach because John Sumrall, at the last minute, Florida scooped him away. So that'll be a storyline as that thing develops as well.
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey says the league is eliminating Cupcake Week. They will play a conference game in that second to last week of the regular season, so no more 50-point spreads throughout SEC football in week 11. It will now be a very competitive week before you get to that finale with some teams obviously having the out of conference rival like Florida and Florida State.
I think you will find the first topic of the next segment, the next hour, interesting. It has to do with that a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of jockeying for position at these. Normally the spring meetings are quiet and the media days are not. Boy, the spring meetings at all these conferences have not been quiet, have they? Everybody's kind of putting a stake in the ground, aren't they?
Without a doubt. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby denied reinstatement for gambling while at his previous stop. The school is appealing, and a lawsuit is being filed.
Of course
Shocker.
it is.
Sorsby has thrown for 60 touchdowns and 18 interceptions in his career, which started at Indiana before 2 years at Cincinnati.
I am so over the lawsuits. I am so over the lawsuits. I really, really am. And I got a thought about Texas Tech that I'm going to get to in the second hour of the show as well, but I'm tired of the lawsuits. I really am.
In the NBA, the Thunder take control with a 127-114 win over the Spurs. SGA got off to a slow start, but still finished with 32 points and 9 assists. Oklahoma City can end the series tomorrow night in San Antonio.
His first points were at the end of the first quarter. You realize that? And then he went nuts. So they're the best team in basketball, and they're probably going to win the title, but give San Antonio credit for making it certainly uncomfortable, to say the least.
In Major League Baseball, the Braves edged the Red Sox 7-6 as Michael Harris has 4 hits. Atlanta now again has the best record in baseball at 37-18 and entered today with an 8.5 game lead in the NL East. The teams play tonight at 6:45.
The Braves and the Rays, JJ.
The Rays are struggling.
The I-75 series is coming, brah. There's been an I-40 series. There's not been an I-75 series, Hayes. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for the I-75 showdown? Just saying.
Rays need to win a game. It's been a while.
Yeah, the Rays have lost 3 straight.
The Cubs need to win a game.
Yeah, that's where we're going next. The Cubs have
Whoa.
lost 10 straight to drop into the cellar of the NL Central. What's happened?
Well, number one, they came to Pittsburgh and got that ass beat. That's one of the things that happened, in case you want to know what's happened.
I've tried to tell you about them.
Yeah,
they're nobodies.
Yeah.
I mean, their best players, Michael Bush. You look up and down their lineup, you're like, how the hell did they ever win 10 games?
If my friend Taylor Dahl
They're coming back to earth.
If my friend Taylor Dahl was in here right now, I would point out to her that last year the Pirates went 3-10 against the Cubs. And this year, they are 4-1 against the Cubs.
Wow.
So I think we've already passed that. By the way, joking aside, I'm shocked by the Cubs. I know you've always thought they were coming back to earth. Now, the pitching is not very – I'm shocked.
The pitching was what was keeping them in it for so long.
Yeah, but when you look at the lineup, when you look at the fact that they've got Bregman now to go with Happ and with Horner – and with the center fielder, Peter, whatever. I mean,
Pico Armstrong sucks. Man.
Yeah, but they have I thought it was.
So, I mean, like all those guys you named, Bregman's old and washed, and they're done, man.
There might be name over game for him, but you're right.
Their pitchers are all hurt. I'll give them that. Their rotations got destroyed with injuries.
I mean, to lose 10 in a row,
that's hard to do, man.
I mean, it's hard to lose 10 in a row with the big league
They've
roster.
also won 10 in a row this year. They're all over the place.
It was amazing.
No doubt about it. We'll get you out with today's musical note. On this date, back in 1963, Bob Dylan releases his second studio album, The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. That must have been hip back in 1963 to be freewheeling.
No question.
You didn't want to be. You don't want your daughter and your son to be freewheeling.
You can't go out with him. He's freewheeling. But hey, the music holds up great. This is Blowing in the Wind. Dylan turned 85 just a few days ago. He is without question one of the most significant American artists of all time.
Might be the greatest songwriter ever. Might be the greatest songwriter in the history of music, and this is a great song. And a very distinct voice, a very distinct singing style, and a great songwriter. Well done as always. Hour 2 is next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
In the game of vehicle performance and reliability, Atlantic Infinity is always the top pick. This is Hayes Carline. Did you know that every certified pre-owned Infinity is inspected, factory-backed, with a limited warranty, and gets the same championship-level service as a brand-new Infinity? Every mile will feel like first class. Check out their full certified inventory now at AtlanticInfinity.com or visit Atlantic Infinity off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
Start your day on the crazy side.
Cactus Carrier! Enough, I get the point!
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser. Cooking up a little crazy for breakfast.
That smells good. What is that?
They are The Drill. Whole new set of crazy. Mornings on 1010XL.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. This month, a new baseball hobby box hits shelves with 2026 Leaf Metal. Some of the better chase cards are autographs of Connor Griffin, and Nick Kurtz. Leaf Metal Baseball at Showtime. Sports cards and collectibles. Update your collection.
Picking here, or maybe you should call me Dreamfinders Danny. Look what Dreamfinders is doing again, an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. You heard me right, a 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Listen to whatever you like, whenever you want.
I like this.
1010XL on demand. Ad-free shows after the live shows end. Shuttled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
There's a lot happening at Cycles of Jacksonville. Tell them about it, Greg.
It's summertime and it's time to ride. We continue to roll through our demo days. We've got yet another one coming up. Sully's going to fill you in on all the details, but you're going to want to be here to ride a Triumph.
Yes, we have Triumph Roadster Demo Day, June 19th and 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You do not want to miss this one. Come on down to Cycles of Jacksonville.
We are your place to be, especially if you want to ride. Everybody's always smiling when they get off those demos.
Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency. CyclesofJacksonville.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
Today's restaurant of the day is Flame Broiler, the Rice Bowl King. It's White Meat Wednesday, so get the Flame Broiler for $2 off a white regular meat chicken bowl or plate. Available in-store only today at any of the 5 Flame Broiler locations.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia from Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, his adorable chessman sidekick.
There are 2 things you want to ask when getting a custom polymer garage floor coating. Will it be done right, and will it be priced right?
And just how charming is their mascot?
No. At Checkmate, our small specialized install teams follow a strict 29-point installation checklist
to ensure the highest quality results at a price you can afford.
A Checkmate polyaspartic floor can be customized in dozens of colors and sweeps up sparkling clean in just seconds.
No need to wear your shoes in the garage to avoid tracking dirt back into the house.
The quality you expect?
Check. A price that might surprise you.
Check. A floor you just can't wait to show your friends? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm Tom Champion with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Swamp is where the Gators host the regional baseball playoffs Friday at 1. They're the bracket top seed and top 10 in the nation. You can hear every pitch on 1010 AM. And get your free tickets to the Jags June 10th mandatory minicamp at Jaguars.com. It's 89 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
I'll see my friends from Coyle & Sons on Friday afternoon. Eric Gedemy and his team are putting together a cool little outing for some of our vendors at Walk Off Charities. I think Hayes Carline's going to make an appearance. Of course, you have to work Friday.
I do have to work Friday.
But afterwards, you'll be there.
Right after.
But we sure appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons. 904-356-4821 or CoyleJacks, C-O-I-L-E, Jacks.com. Fences, but not just fences, commercial or residential fences, but overhead doors and bathroom partitions and the like. If you need it built and it's protecting your home, my friends from Coyle & Sons probably can do it. They're the best fence company around. Coyle & Sons Fence Company. The word is out. That's how good they are. Frangie, Carline, and LaSelva. All right, so I got thinking about this. Kirby Smart said something right now to take you through the history. The last year, every conference led by the SEC wanted to move to a 16-team playoff for last season. The Big Ten drew a line in the sand and said they wouldn't go. And the other conferences that had agreed that the SEC and Big Ten had to agree for them to move. So, Hayes, they stayed at 12, even though everybody in the world other than the Big Ten wanted to get to 16. They stood their ground. They wanted 24. Now the Big Ten has swayed people toward 24. Now it seems everybody but the SEC wants to go to 24. And the SEC is, at least for now, is drawing a line in the sand. My guess is they cave eventually and we get to 24 in the next couple of years. That'd be my guess, which I don't like. I think 16 would have been the number. Would you prefer 12 to 24?
Yes.
I would too. JJ, 12 to 24 or no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would prefer 12 to 24. I would prefer 16, but I'd prefer 12 to 24. But anyway, the SEC has sort of threatened to pull out, okay? I mean, they've threatened to make their own rules. Did you see this with Kirby Smart said, maybe we'll just make our own rules? I got to tell you, I would not be shocked now if that happened, as crazy as that would seem. So let me throw this at you, Hayes Carline. On a Wednesday afternoon on the First Coast. Can I do that? Are you open? Are you open to suggestions?
Let's go.
What if the SEC said, that's enough's enough. Screw it. We'll cut our own TV deal. We'll do which they already have, by the way, because conferences now have their own TV deal. They've got 16 teams. We're going back to divisions because we're only playing ourselves plus a couple meaningless games. The West Division, Texas, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Arkansas, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri. The East Division, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Vandy, Kentucky, Alabama, Auburn. You play 12 games, okay? You would play 10 conference games. If you played 11 conference games, you could play all 7 teams in your division and half the other division, meaning every 4 years you'd play everybody in the league. So maybe you play 11 conference games, 1 non-conference game that you chose. It wouldn't matter if you lost the non-conference game because the only games that would matter are your conference games because you're only playing for a conference championship. That's all you're playing for. So maybe you play 11-1, and that way you play all 7 of your teams in your division, and you play half the other division home and home. So in 4 years, you've played everybody, okay? Of the 16 teams, the top 6 make the playoffs. The top 2 teams, the 2 teams that win each division, if you win your division, you get a bye. East 2 plays West 6. West 2 plays East 6, right? Okay, 4 plays 5. You have 3 playoff games. You want the champion would play in the Sugar Bowl or wherever. And your non-conference game could be whatever you wanted. FSU, if they're willing to play you. If not, someone's willing to play you for that payday.
Or you just play all 12.
Yeah. Or you could play all 12.
I mean, if you're breaking away, that's probably what you would do.
I like the idea of playing 11 though, because then you have an even amount of, and I don't mind a rivalry game for fans. You say FSU, if we're breaking away, so you may not want to play us, but we'll play you if you want. And Louisville, Kentucky, we'll play if you want. Georgia, and if you don't want to play, okay. Pretty big payday, by the way, if you do. But if you don't want to play, that's fine. But you play, again, top 6 make it. What you do in the non-conference game has no bearing on whether you make it or not. So you could play anybody. You could play Notre Dame. It doesn't matter. You play top 6 make it. 2 byes. 3 weeks of playoffs. The ESPN people would be thrilled. It would not shock me. What would you feel? How would you feel if it happened?
I think it will. I think the SEC and Big Ten will eventually
do this.
Not
go together. Go but their own ways.
I think they'll actually go together because I just think the money will be so substantially more if they can bring in, instead of taking it from 16 teams. I mean, it would do well, but it would still be very regional.
It'd be totally regional.
ESPN would not be thrilled.
So, but
ESPN would not be thrilled if the SEC broke away and was like, "We're doing our own thing."
But I think
let me stop. Let me rephrase. you're right. ESPN has everybody now. They wouldn't be thrilled. Thrilled is the wrong word. Let me rephrase that.
I think that you think that it would be bigger ratings than it would actually would.
Oh, really? I
think
think
such a regional.
Oh,
who outside of the South is watching a playoff with the SEC?
See, I think Ohio State and Michigan's regional, but everybody watches it.
That game? You think Ohio State versus Michigan is a regional game?
Well, they're 2 or 3 hours apart.
But it's a national.
No,
both of them are national brands.
Well, in that case, Alabama, Florida, Alabama, Georgia.
Okay.
Believe me,
there's a lot more teams than those in the SEC than no one cares.
Look, there's bad teams everywhere. My point, I'm not rooting for it. What I'm telling you is, I don't think it's as outlandish. I think it could happen. Look, let Hayes finish, then I'll let you go. But Phil, you think they could break off and have a 2-conference?
That's what they
league.
If Congress can't get this done, because they have no hope, I don't think, of ever creating a CBA, on their own. The players don't even have a union. And so it would take so long, and they're in dire straits. I mean, the Georgia president, again, how often do you see a university president? This is the University of Georgia president, Moorhead. This is his quote at SEC meetings. "We're close to anarchy. Time is running out on us. We are in a worse position now than we were a year ago." I mean, this is where it's headed. So if Congress can't get it done, I know the Big Ten and the SEC have more often than not been at odds than been in synchronicity. But I think eventually the SEC and the Big Ten are just going to say, let's merge. We basically become the level between college football and the NFL. It becomes this unbelievable pro league of what does the Big Ten have now? 20? So it's 36 teams. You don't contract and you don't add. And they split off, and that way they come up with their own system of this is what we're going to pay, this is how it's going to work in terms of transfers and coaching and everything that is keeping the sport in the pickle that it's in. It's much easier to solve it that way, I think. But I don't think the Big Ten could go on its own. I don't think the SEC could go on its own and be as successful. But if they combine their efforts, it would be a juggernaut.
I would be surprised. I hear you. I'd be surprised if that happened. I would not be surprised if they all went and did their own thing. Because, see, if the SEC and Big Ten agree on anything, well, then everybody else will just come with them unless they don't want them, right? What do you
I'm with Hayes. They need each other. I mean, there's no...
Without the ACC, Big 12...
Well, they're going to invite some teams. They'll have Miami's or whoever's.
So you think they'll add? They'll add to
Florida State's. You're not going to have college football without some of those major teams.
Yeah,
but there's no freaking way that the SEC is going to be just by themselves and people are going to watch and be like, yeah, that's the champion of college football.
Well, there's two
and the Big Ten, same thing.
Well,
they need each other.
Well, there's two conversations. There's no way the SEC will do it, or there's no way the SEC will do it and thrive, which is your point.
I don't think the SEC would ever do it because they know it would be a mistake.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see. And by the way, I don't think it's
talk all the big talk they want.
I don't think it's headed there because I think they're going to 24. I think now that the Big Ten's got everybody on board, I think the SEC is going to acquiesce and go to 24. But I'm just telling you, as I look at this, I don't know. It would not shock me if it landed there. Even if it landed there temporarily, it would not shock. I'm not rooting for it, but
it would kill college football.
Yeah,
it would be over.
Yeah. If they didn't, unless they went back. But if it stayed this way, it would certainly kill college football as we know it. It would change college football forever. College football always changes. Swanee used to have a college football team. I mean, college football always evolves. But
this is different.
Yeah, it is different. But it would not. I'll be interested to see what happens because it's clear. It's clear the Big Ten is not budging off their 24. That is clear. They're not budging. And they have gotten everybody to come with them on the 24. The question then becomes, does the SEC do what the Big Ten wouldn't do last year and acquiesce to the 24? Which I think they're going to. Do you think they're going to?
I think this is going to be a yearly thing. I think we're going to end up with probably 16 for a couple years and then maybe go to 24. But I think it's going to be at 12 right now for a couple years.
No, I don't deny that. But I don't think we're ever going to 16 because I don't think the Big Ten will ever do it.
Maybe they'll just skip to 24.
I don't think they'll. I think
for 12 right now for at least 2 years. I think that's
would not surprise me if we stayed at 12. My guess is the SEC will acquiesce. but it wouldn't surprise me if it took another year or so.
I think ultimately the SEC does as well, and it gets to 24. But it is interesting because Greg Sankey said multiple times when he met with reporters a couple of days ago at SEC meetings, he's like, first off, there's not going to be any update to the college football playoff, so let's just go ahead and get that out of the way now before I'm asked 1,000 times about it. But then he, in talking about the Big Ten, he made a comment like, well, their perceptions have changed and shifted over this last year.
He said they're the ones that introduced 16.
Yeah, so he's almost like, let's just see where they are in 6 months because they've kind of been flip-flopping on what they want. So maybe maybe another data report comes in that suggests that 24 does have some crippling consequences that I think it would have from just an excitement of the game perspective and for the sport. So it's interesting that I think the Big Ten has, to Sankey's credit, I think he's right on this. I think the Big Ten has been sort of, one day they want to do something and the next day they want to do something else. It was like, okay, well, the SEC needs to have 9 conference games. And if the SEC goes to 9 conference games, then we'll agree to a 16-team format. The SEC goes to 9 conference games. Then the Big Ten's like, nope, we want it to be 24 now. We're not going to do 16. So I get why Sankey is almost like, well, I'll just wait until you change back to seeing it the way we see it.
Yeah. Kirby Smart said in the story on ESPN that he hinted, let me pull up the story exactly. And you're right, it might be bluster, JJ. It might be a throw.
I could play it.
It could be a throw.
I have the soundbite.
All right,
and it's more of like him talking about breaking away as like we're doing our own rules thing, not necessarily like, hey, we're going to start our own league, but here it is.
If we can't find rules that everybody plays by, then we should, play our own. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid to break away and say that our conference is strong enough to go out and play. I mean, like if we could actually function and it financially would make our programs more stable and we could support things financially, I'm talking about all the sports, and do by our own rules, I'd be all for that. I mean, I've been to this meeting now 10, 11 times, and it's frustrating at times to say, well, we can't do this because of litigation. We can't do this because of litigation. We can't do this because we'll get sued. We can't do that. And we're just trying to do things for the betterment of the sport and the betterment of the student athletes. And that's not curtailing what money they make. I'm not advocating that they make less money. I'm fine with what student athletes make. I'm trying to make it where it's as equal and as comparable footing for everybody, and it's not a race to the bottom, as they say.
I think he is talking about breaking away. I think from that quote alone, I mean that quote.
Yeah, I think he's talking about we're going to make our own rules, play by our own rules. He's talking about NIL, transfer portal, all that. And if Big Ten and whatever wants to play by different rules, then fine. I don't think anywhere in that soundbite was there, we're going to make our own league and start our own thing. That's not what I took from.
How about? I mean, he said
he literally said the rules.
He said, yeah, but then he said we got the finances to do it. We can do our own thing. I think we can
play by our own rules. He said.
Yeah, no, I heard it.
But I don't think, to Frank's point, I don't think. And again, this has been floated for 2 years. The SEC Big Ten breaking away. So like that's been out there in the atmosphere for a while.
He said we'll do our own. We can do our own thing.
But again, we know how coaches operate. Like a coach isn't going to be willing to like basically have the SEC agree to, well, we're only going to pay the rev share, which is $22 million that everybody does, and we're going to cap for just SEC schools just so we can survive. We're going to cap NIL, total NIL, at $10 million. That's all we're going to raise. They're not then going to go compete against the Georgia Techs, the Texas Techs, the whoever else
have different rules
that can spend $60 million. They're not going to do that. So I do think that he is. I think you can interpret it both ways, but I think he's talking about totally breaking away.
Now back to your original point, JJ. Maybe it's bluster. Maybe it's macho talk to win the negotiation. Maybe they wouldn't really do it.
No,
to your point.
And
I don't think they
Kirby
can
has
do it.
Zero power to do anything either.
I don't think they can do it without the Big Ten. And same thing with the Big Ten. But put those two together.
Oh yeah.
And if they decide they want to, maybe to your point, I'm not even sure they're going to take schools. But let's say
they can't have not Notre Dame.
I'm telling you, they don't care about that.
Without Notre Dame.
All they care about is the money.
Yeah, I think.
I'm just saying, college football is not college football without Notre Dame, Miami, Florida State, insert $1 million.
But they don't have fans in the room. They've got ADs and presidents.
But I think if the Big Ten,
I would want Notre Dame, Florida State, Miami. I would want them in.
I think if the Big Ten and SEC agree, though, then everybody else will say, "What do we have to do to be with you?" And then they will. That's why I would be surprised. To your point, it'd be a powerful league, and you could make a bunch of money. But I don't think there'd be a point to doing that because no one's going to fight them.
And I also think that if the SEC and Big Ten did break away, even if they didn't add schools, I do think most of the country would recognize that as whoever ended up winning that as the national champion in college football. That's the best team. In college football.
But if it was just one of the two, people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but the only reason I think the SEC would do it or consider it is because, by God, we are not acquiescing to the damn Big Ten, the other power guy in the room. And once those two agree, I don't think there's a reason to kick everybody else out. It'll be interesting to see. But I found the quote interesting, and I got thinking about what it would look like. There's very few leagues who could do it, and the games would be mostly interesting. The SEC could do it. That SEC playoff would be interesting. Maybe I'm just such a regional SEC homer. Maybe that's why. Maybe some guy in Kansas City hears me saying that.
Yeah, they won't care.
Yeah, but for me, it'd be very interesting stuff. We'll take a break. More in a moment. Stay with us.
It's The Ride Home with The Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
The official station of the Jaguars fans. 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Buying a diamond should be fun, not stressful. But at some stores, the pressure can be intense with pushy salespeople and mandatory deposits. But at Beard's Diamonds, owner John Lupo says that's not cool.
They wanted to sell them only what they had, wanted a deposit right then and there. They did not want them to shop, and we don't do business that way. It's pretty sad that you don't want the consumer to go shopping. That must mean that they're not confident in their pricing.
It's different at Beard's.
We encourage people to shop. We want you to go shopping, to know that you're getting a better deal and a better education at Beard's. We will do anything we can to make you happy without putting deposits down.
No deposits, no commission sales, no pressure, no pricing games, no corporate rule books. John's son Ben sums it up nicely. At Beard's, it's laid back and relationship driven.
There's plenty of options out there, but we're looking to go the extra mile when people want to patronize us, and it brings us great pleasure to see two lives be connected together.
Beard's Diamonds, locally owned with over 4 decades of doing business the right way. At St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
Hacker here for Cornerstone Interior Solutions. If your AC is working overtime every summer, your insulation may be the problem. Homeowners and builders across Northeast Florida are calling Cornerstone to upgrade to spray foam insulation. It seals homes, crawl spaces, garages, blocking in cool air and blocking out heat. So your home stays cooler, your system runs easier, and your energy bills stay under control. Don't wait for peak heat. Visit CornerstoneInteriorSolutions.com.
Put a little hot sauce on your lunchtime listening.
Spicy.
Joe Coward, Matt Hayes, and Leon Searcy. They are XL Prime Time.
4-alarm fire.
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios. Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Hey, Gate fans, power up your meal with an electrifying deal. MyGate Rewards members can snag a Monster Energy for just $1 when you buy any made-to-order entree. Breakfast bowl or pizza, it's your choice. Just add a Monster and boost your day. See store for details.
Hey, poker players, let's ride to the riches. Best Bet St. Augustine is giving away a brand new all-terrain side-by-side vehicle and cash prizes during the Ride to the Riches promotion. From May 1st through August 7th, every hour of poker and table games played at Best Bet St. Augustine earns you a chance to win over $40,000 in cash and prizes, including a top-of-the-line side-by-side all-terrain vehicle. Visit bestbetjacks.com for details. That's bestbetjacks.com, and we'll see you in St. Augustine.
Looking for your locally raised beef for your family? Houston's Meat Company proudly carries North Florida cattle raised right here in our community. From fresh ground beef to hand-cut steaks and roasts, every cut is USDA choice or higher. Locally raised from birth to harvest with no added hormones or antibiotics. It's quality you can taste and local sourcing you can feel good about. For more than 50 years, Jacksonville's families have trusted Houston's Meat Company for quality meats at great prices. Houston's Meat Company, Main Street at 295.
have. Weight loss gets a lot easier when you stop guessing. Reclaim by Awaken 180. 10 weeks, a real target, finish line, and most importantly, results. Medication-free and free support for life at awaken180weightloss.com.
Looking for an exciting, fun-filled evening the whole group can enjoy? Discover the thrill of Sharks football. Fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. It's Star Wars night. Presented by HCA Florida Healthcare. Don't miss this Saturday, May 30th, as your Sharks look to continue their winning ways. Kickoff 7 o'clock and tickets start at just $15. This is the fun you've been looking for. The first 1,000 kids receive a free lightsaber. Dress up as your favorite character and get photos with members of the 501st Legion before the game. The Force is strong with this deal. Try our family 4-pack. Get 4 tickets and $50 in food or merchandise vouchers, all for only $100. Join us on field after the game for our free autograph session, sponsored by Flight Adventure Park. Tickets start at just $15. To get yours, call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks! 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. 10 Take.
1010 Take is brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter, plumbing, septic, and air conditioning. When you're stuck, call the duckduckduckrooter.com. I don't know how many people truly care about college baseball, but I think we have the best chance to have Florida and Florida State both get to Omaha together in the longest time. The regionals are set, and I think both teams, given how much parity there is in college baseball this year, these days, both got really, really good draws. Both are hosting regionals. Florida's a national seed, which means they get to host twice if they win. Florida has Miami, Troy, and Ryder in its regional. Florida should win the regional. They've handled Miami somewhat easily. Miami's got a good team, but Florida's handled them. Ryder, they should win easily. Troy and Miami play. That's the regional. If they win, they play at home against Southern Miss. If Southern Miss wins its regional, they were the 9th national seed. I'll get to them in a minute. Florida State is at home. They got a regional. They're the 10th seed. They've got Coastal Carolina, who has tradition, obviously, St. John's and Northern Illinois. I think both of those teams will win their regions. If FSU wins its region, it goes to Alabama. I said this yesterday a little bit. Alabama's leaking some oil. Alabama's not the team that was roaring, even though they got a 7th overall national seed. Florida beat them 13-3 in the SEC tournament, walloped them, and they've struggled down the stretch a little bit. They're not the same team that they were. FSU could go to Tuscaloosa and win. Florida could come home and win against Southern Miss, but I will caution them. You think Southern Miss isn't great. Southern Miss may have the best pitching staff in the country. They can't score, but they can really pitch, which means it could be a great setup. But I believe, Hayes, I love the College World Series. I love college baseball. I love the regionals. I love every bit of it. I'm a diehard college fan. JJ, you've become sort of a college fan, right? I mean, a little bit.
I've always liked Miami baseball.
Yeah,
it's been tough recent years.
Yeah.
But last year was the first year they made it to a super regional in like 10 years.
Yeah. Why is that right? I didn't realize that. So,
crazy.
But
I'll be watching Miami, Florida. That's always, even though we're going to be big underdogs, that's always fun.
Yeah, me too. So, Hayes,
I've been to plenty Miami games. I've been to Miami in Gainesville regionals before.
Me too. And I think it's going to be, Hayes, I think it's going to be a really fun college baseball postseason, particularly for the teams around here.
What do you think is a fair expectation for both the Gators and the Noles?
If the Gators don't make Omaha, they would be roundly disappointed. They're one of the 8 national seeds. I would think the way they're playing now, they would hope to make the Final Four. Okay, I don't know if they'll make the final series, but Georgia's really good. Georgia. I haven't seen UCLA.
Who won the SEC?
Georgia.
Okay.
They won the regular. They were 23-6 in the regular season, which is unheard of in college baseball.
And Florida had a huge lead on them and couldn't hold it.
Yeah, and so
and didn't they win 2 out of 3? Like,
well, they
2
did,
weeks
but
ago? in the tournament.
Florida was up 6-0, but they got the big rain delay for about 3 hours. But I would think Florida would be roundly disappointed if it didn't make Omaha, and somewhat disappointed if it doesn't make the 8. I think FSU wants to get to Tuscaloosa. I think if they don't get to Tuscaloosa, that'd be disappointing. Look, if you're FSU, you always want to win in Omaha or get to Omaha, but they're not better than Alabama. They certainly haven't had a better season than Alabama. The Southern Miss thing's interesting because Southern Miss really believes they should have gotten a super. Southern Miss thinks they got edged out because of the logo. I promise you, everybody in Hattiesburg was convinced they were getting the Super.
It just means more.
Exactly.
They think they got logoed out. Now, Florida's strength of schedule is second. Southern Miss's strength of schedule is like 30th or 40th, so that's why they got it. But Southern Miss will come to Gainesville bowed up, so I think but I think it'll make for a really good.
Who's the second best team in Southern Miss's regional?
I haven't looked it up. I don't know. It's a great question. I'll look it up. I don't know. I'll see if I can find it. Great question, by the way. So I will find it. But I do have a question for you guys. Having said that,
I have a question too.
Okay. What's your question?
My question is Ryder the Storms? Because if not, that's a massive missed opportunity.
Yes.
It's Virginia, by the way.
They had to have a player named Jim Morrison. That's what they should have, okay? Just if there's not a guy named Jim Morrison on the team,
what are we doing?
They shouldn't come to Gainesville. Yeah. Well said. I wish I had said that. Did you find out?
Yeah, it's Virginia. Who's a good program?
Virginia has a good program. So here's my question for you on a Wednesday afternoon on the First Coast. You've got the SEC Pitcher of the Year in Aiden King, and he's really good. I mean, he's the SEC Pitcher of the Year. He's a former Bishop Snyder kid. He's so good that he moved ahead of Liam Peterson, who might be the first college pitcher taken, also from Florida, who hits 100 regularly. So Peterson's now become the Saturday guy. King has become the Friday guy. Okay, and then there's Sunday guys. A guy named Russell Sandifer, who's good player, good pitcher. Those low 90s. He's nothing like the first two. You play Ryder in the first game.
Yeah, so you throw Peterson.
So do you see? It's funny you said it. That's you don't throw Sandifer.
Right.
You don't go to the third guy because you can't risk it. But you probably don't waste King. You want to keep King for Miami.
Right.
I said, it's fun. I was talking to a buddy about that today. Someone said, "Would you throw King? Do you throw the first guy, or do you go ahead and throw the third guy?" I go right in the middle.
Yeah.
What do you do? I
always.
throw Peterson.
In the regionals, I never understood ever using your ace in that first 1-4 matchup. It's always a Bethune-type school that you roll over. And then,
but you can't lose, though. You can't lose. That's the thing.
But you just know that your third or second starter is way better than their first starter.
If you didn't have Peterson, I might throw King just because you can't lose that game. No matter what, you can't lose that game. You can't.
Your odds after losing the first game in the regional got to be like 20%.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So you can't lose that game, but you kind of have two aces. So I would probably throw Peterson. I'd probably throw Liam Peterson, who, by the way, is going to get drafted in the first round, and I would save Aiden King for Miami.
Some of it also probably depends. Florida is going to start at 1:00 on Friday.
Correct.
So they should have a good idea for the weather, but some of it too would be
good call.
You don't want to start King and then comes a storm.
That's the disaster.
And he only throws like 40 pitches, but now you can't go back to him.
And that always happens with regionals. It'll be like all of Saturday got rained out.
Right. Great point. That's a really good point. You can't lose Aiden King because Miami's still Miami, okay? I mean, this isn't. I mean, that's Miami. You've got to play in that second game, assuming they beat Troy, which I imagine they will. You got to beat Miami in that second game, So I would want Aiden King to pitch against Miami. I'll say this: it'll be fun to watch. It's going to be I love college baseball. I love the end of the season. I will tell you this: if they win, I haven't been to a super regional in forever, but they start on Friday. Well, it turns out next Friday I'm available.
That's right.
Oh yeah, I heard.
Okay, so. I think if they win the regional, I'm going to go next Friday.
Nice.
That's a nice day trip.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go next Friday to see because then it's best 2 out of 3 against Southern Miss. And now although do the Supers sometimes start on Saturday? I guess they do.
They've mixed it up.
Yeah, you're right. So the Supers sometimes start on Saturday. Well, but I may go either way, so I'm probably going to go next week. But anyway, it'll be a lot of fun to watch. I love college baseball. We'll take a break. More in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's the power of the spoken word and your imagination.
Daniel Murphy waits on the 0-1, and there's a drive. Deep right field. That ball's gone.
1010XL, your radio home for play-by-play.
Daniel Murphy.
What if your next fun day out costs you $70 to play all day? That's exactly what you get at the Battalion Airsoft Arena, the only indoor airsoft battlefield in Jax. Skip the same old boring entertainment choices and step into real action with your crew. Perfect for birthdays, company team building, graduation parties, or just epic weekend fun. No experience, no problem. The Battalion package includes everything: gun, mask, and ammo with unlimited play. So lock in your mission now at BattalionAirsoftArena.com.
At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, care starts with listening, one-on-one consultations, clear answers, and a plan built around you. Our orthopedic surgeons, sports medicine physicians, and rehabilitation specialists work together to treat injuries, manage chronic pain, and restore strength and mobility. From your first check-in to your personalized treatment plan, everything is designed to help you move forward with confidence. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, expert care, improving lives.
I'm Holt Harrell. I was talking to someone the other day and they were shocked that some lawyers get more from a case than their own client. After paying bills and costs, if we are supposed to get more than a client, we won't. That's the Harrell and Harrell promise. When we say that we treat our clients like family, we mean it. If you've been in an accident, call us today. 251-1111. Harrell and Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
Ready to put your dream car in drive? Get solid rates for the road ahead when you finance with First Florida Credit Union. Enjoy competitive low rates, up to 90 days of no payments, and budget-friendly protection plans. Whether you're buying a vehicle or refinancing, stop by a branch or apply online at firstflorida.org/auto loans. Membership eligibility required. Interest accrues during loan payment deferral period. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit firstflorida.org/auto loans.
Train your putt with pitch-perfect pointers from the pros and Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser on Brunch with the Tour. Tuesday morning at 8:30, teed up by Clearwater Irrigation and North Florida Medical Centers.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for fixing my air conditioner last week. It's way nicer at my place now.
Glad we could help. Good to know it was just a small repair.
I know. A new air conditioner can be pretty expensive.
I mean, they do keep your whole house nice. That's a lot of space to keep cool.
I know.
And they do it all summer long, even when the weather is totally Jacksonville temperature outside.
I know.
Luckily, if you ever do need a new AC, we can arrange a financing plan that'll make it easy for you to handle.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Here, put on these sunglasses.
Whoa. They can show banking information? Cool glasses.
Short term, long term, low interest, 0 down payment. There's all kinds of options for bigger projects or even repairs as low as $500.
I wish I had these math sunglasses in high school.
You and me both, pal.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monaghan's golden moment. Monaghan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, our golden moment today was Brett Hastings in here talking about the crazy world of college athletics. There's a bipartisan bill now being sponsored in Congress that if it passes and becomes law, might save college athletics. Among the things in there, a one-time transfer without a penalty, 5-year eligibility max, no pro players can go back and play college, coaches can't be poached. It would certainly give us some sensibility in college athletics, and Brett took us all the way through what the bill says, what the chances are, what it will mean. Great work, as always, on Sports and Courts. That was from our friend Brett Hastings. So I want to talk about Texas Tech. So Texas Tech, the Florida Texas Tech softball story. They came in there, and Mia Williams now got a bunch of money, so she goes and plays for them, and they beat Florida, and she got hit a bunch, and they didn't shake hands. And we all know the story by now. But it's interesting to me that it's Texas Tech. It's also interesting to me that Brendan Sorsby, who's trying to play maybe the best quarterback in the country, Texas Tech's going to do all they can to get him eligible, transferred from Cincinnati. They'll be really good. Were they in the playoff last year? They were in the playoff, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They had a really good team last year. Okay, so they were good. They were a good playoff team last year.
Great defense.
Right. They had a great defense last year. Good playoff team. If not for Walter Clayton, they might have won the basketball title 2 years ago. They might have had as good a team as any. Walter Clayton beat them when they had outplayed Florida for 3/4 of that game. So Florida. So they were really good in basketball 2 years ago. I thought they were as good as any team Florida played, and Florida won the title. Last year in football, they were very good.
And this year they lost Toppin.
Yeah, and they lost Toppin. This year they might have been good again.
Been really good again.
This year in football, last year they made the tournament, the 12-team playoff. They had the best quarterback coming in from Cincinnati. And their softball team, they went. I forget what they paid that pitcher from the softball.
I thought it was like $1 million.
They gave her like $1 million, a softball pitcher from Stanford. So it seems extreme. You know what? I thought about this.
It seems extreme. You're right.
It's $1 million. So. But remember the pitcher from Stanford. Well, here's what I thought about. God bless them. You know why? Because you're freaking Texas Tech. Think about this. You've lived your whole life in the shadow of Texas and Oklahoma and probably Texas A&M. 35 years ago, the SEC came and poached Texas A&M and Arkansas, two teams from the region. They knew they couldn't touch Texas and Oklahoma, but they had no interest in you. Why? Because you're Texas Tech. 30 years later, they go and actually poach Texas and Oklahoma. They didn't poach you. You know why? Because you're still Texas Tech. Texas Tech has never had anything. Texas Tech had Mike Leach, who was wonderful, until a low-level SEC school went and poached him. They took Bob Knight at the end of his career because he burned so many bridges and threw so many chairs in Indiana that nobody wanted him. You know why? Because you're Texas Tech. Texas Tech has been the ultimate stepchild of all stepchildren.
They had Mahomes.
Yeah,
and no one can remember a single game that they won.
The only thing they've ever had is Patrick Mahomes, and nobody remembers the game they ever played, except for the game where they all threw 8 touchdowns, whatever.
And they lost.
Right. So you've never had anything. So all of a sudden, this Cody Campbell guy comes along, and finally, I was going to say now that it's all about money. Well, it's always been about money, but now that it's all about public money, why not say, you know what? We're Texas Tech. We've never won anything. Let's go get the gambling quarterback from Cincinnati and the $1 million softball player from Stanford and Jason Williams' daughter from Florida. You know what? God bless them. I mean, think about this. All of a sudden, Texas Tech, which has never been anything, you know why, Hayes? Because you're Texas Tech, suddenly is in play. I kind of applaud them because of the existence they've had all this time.
It's the same thing with Indiana. I mean, the schools that, in Ole Miss to a little bit of a lesser level, but these schools that, the way the game was set up prior, where elite recruits, first off, there was really no portal. You had transfers, but it was very, very rare that that's what you use to significantly impact your team. But you had a system in place where the high-level recruits were going to go to schools with tradition, schools that were on TV, schools that could get you to the draft. Playing time was certainly important if you could get on the field early. It just never set up for the Texas Techs and the Indianas and the Ole Miss because they had lost more than they'd won. They were overshadowed by other programs in their state or region, and it just changed overnight. And the schools that embraced that, okay, now we can legally pay players. Well, absolutely, let's start doing that because it's going to negate the disadvantage that we've had for 50 years.
Ever.
And they've wrapped their arms around it and said basically like, you know, whatever it takes, we will spend whatever it takes to win. Yeah. And this is our way out. Yes. And those schools have, and there's others, but those are the three that really spring to mind.
And Texas Tech in all the sports.
And Texas Tech in all the sports.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, again, I'll say it again. If Walter Clayton doesn't come back and beat them, they might have beat Auburn because Auburn had that inside game. Their inside game was better with Toppin and the guy in the forward that scored all the points against Florida. I mean, they might have won the national title. I mean, I really think that if Florida because that's the game Houck also played well at the end. So they might have won that. They had a really good football team last year. They may win softball this year. God bless them. You're Texas Tech. You know what? I mean, as crazy as that sounds, they're to your point, the quintessential example of a team that said, we've never been anything, but we have this really rich oil guy. And he's as rich as the Texas oil guys, and he's as rich as the Oklahoma energy guys. So you know what?
And he wants to spend it.
And he's dying to spend it. I say this all the time. People say, well, Alabama and Ohio State have all the money. No, they don't. Alabama and Ohio State do not have more rich alumni than Harvard and Stanford. It's just the Harvard and Stanford guys aren't putting it into football.
Yeah.
They don't have, I promise you, the endowment at Ohio State and Alabama doesn't compare with Stanford and Harvard.
Oh, yeah. I think Stanford is like the biggest in the world or in America.
So it doesn't even compare, but to your point, Hayes, he wants to spend it. If you got the rich guy that wants to spend it, you got a chance. We'll take a break. We'll wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Vegas Golden Knights swept the Avalanche out of the playoffs last night with a win at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. They'll get the winner of the Canadiens Hurricane Series. Game 4 tonight at the Bell Center in Montreal. Carolina $1.42 road favorite. Canadiens plus 120, 5.5 over the total. Oklahoma City Thunder up 3-2 at Game 6 of the Frostbank Center in San Antonio tomorrow night. The Spurs are 3.5-point home favorites, 218.5 the total. Ludwig Oberg plus 1075 to win the Charles Schwab Challenge. Russell Henley 20-1. Robert McIntyre plus 2050. And Ricky Fowler is 24-1 to win at the Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth this week. Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keystoprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Joe C. here. I tried playing handyman with my sprinklers and French drain. And royally failed. So I called Clearwater Irrigation and Drainage, and John Haney came out personally, just like he'll do for you.
You know it. And for a limited time, my good buddy Joe C's coming too.
Huh?
Ain't that right, Joe?
I gotta go to the game.
Joe? Go.
Clearwater Irrigation.
At least to this part. And drainage too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Looking for an exciting, fun-filled evening the whole group can enjoy? Discover the thrill of Sharks football. Fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. It's Star Wars night. Presented by HCA Florida Healthcare. Don't miss this Saturday, May 30th, as your Sharks look to continue their winning ways. Kickoff 7 o'clock and tickets start at just $15. This is the fun you've been looking for. The first 1,000 kids receive a free lightsaber. Dress up as your favorite character and get photos with members of the 501st Legion before the game. The Force is strong with this deal. Try our family 4-pack. Get 4 tickets and $50 in food or merchandise vouchers, all for only $100. Join us on field after the game for our free autograph session, sponsored by Flight Adventure Park. Tickets start at just $15. To get yours, call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks! I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and when warm weather is here, we got to take advantage of it. Greg, what does Honda have, especially for beach weather?
It's riding season. Full line of small motorcycles, scooters, you name it, they've got it. We also have a full line of Vespa scooters in stock and ready to ride to the beach today.
If you log on cyclesofjacksonville.com, they've got it all?
Got it all. Cyclesofjacksonville.com. Come and see us there or on the showroom.
Atlantic and Regency, check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
The 2026 schedule is here, and Jaguars football is officially back at the bench. With limited capacity this season, it's more important than ever to show up loud and create the ultimate home field advantage. From our biggest rivalries to can't-miss matchups, this is a season you won't want to miss. Single game tickets are on sale, and now's the time to lock in your seats for the games that matter most. Inventory is limited, and tickets are expected to go fast. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Taking the kayaks out on the lake, hot dogs on the grill, and your sister's boyfriend pulling out his acoustic guitar.
Everyone quiet! Harrison's playing. Wow, you're so good, Harrison.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Rick Ballou is here as we get set to start. How you doing, buddy?
I am good.
Yeah, you ready? You're ready for another OTA, aren't you?
Deadliest catch.
You got the beard going. You haven't shaved.
I got a business meeting
rough
tomorrow.
And rugged. You look like, you know what? You look like. Let me tell you what he's going to do. Yeah, he was deer hunting all day. Now he's going to get in a bar fight. Okay,
Let me tell you what, when I get up early at 11 a.m., it's nothing but black coffee, and then I wrap it up with 3 fingers worth of Irish whiskey. That's the way I roll.
No question at all. So, all right.
Deadliest catch, that or sweating at the Miller Electric Center in 100-degree temps during Jaguars training camp.
Yeah.
Sweating.
No, sweating, yeah.
Absolutely.
There's not even close.
Can you imagine freezing on a boat like that?
No,
Oh,
it'd be
my
terrible.
God, is that awful. They get paid pretty good money, but that's a tough gig.
I'm ready for training. By the way, are you excited at all about the regional baseball or still not? They still squeezed it all out of you still? Like the Crest toothpaste, that was a great take.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, I'll watch. I
won't you?
will. I'll pay attention, but
I love college baseball.
I know you do. I do too. It's just been, it's been really disappointing as of late. But who knows what to make? Softball and baseball. I mean, look at everything that's going on in sports. I mean, look at hockey last night. A team that won 39 regular season games swept the President's Cup team. 13 straight years, the President's Cup, the best overall record in hockey, has been eliminated from the Stanley Cup finals. 13 straight
Golden
years.
Knights.
Vegas, baby.
Went and got
John
him.
Tortorella.
There you go. What's coming
Everyone hates him unless he's your coach.
What's coming up?
We got a lot of good stuff tonight. I'm really fired up. My main goal tonight is to get better. I've really been working hard, both mentally and emotionally, and everything about just trying to get better.
You have my support.
That's going to include trying to hit breaks on time.
Okay.
That's going to include try to employ JJ to make him part of the program.
Okay.
And we got a lot of other good stuff coming up tonight as well. There's a lot of complaining going on in several different sports, and I love it. We're going to take a look at all of that.
All right, Rick Ballou, the complaining is coming up tonight. JJ, what's in the pouch in there? We got anything?
Yes, we do. I got a family 4-pack to see Hayes' favorite team, Sporting Jacks men, and they are taking on
Who are they playing?
Brooklyn FC.
Brooklyn FC.
Brooklyn FC
has the audacity to show their face in Jacksonville after the crap they pulled.
Sunday the 31st at Hodges Stadium. Yes, they will be in town. You can win a family 4-pack right now at 641-1010. I'll hook you up.
All right, there you go. JJ's got that for you. That'll do it for our program. Don't go anywhere. Rick Ballou's going to talk about complaining. That comes up in just a moment. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.